Hey everyone, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today it's going to be Mega Man 3 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm kind of cheating on this one actually, as I actually just recently did a couple of live streams of all 6 Mega Man games on the NES. So if some of you guys already watched that and you're Mega Man'd out, I apologize. I'm revisiting a lot of my old Let's Plays, as some of you guys are aware, and just sort of redoing them for the modern day. Better video quality, better frame rates, things like that, and so that takes us to Mega Man 3. Now, I should actually technically be doing Mega Man 2, because I did Mega Man 1 just a couple months ago, and I'd like to go in order. But I saw my friend on YouTube and Twitch, Insane Wayne, play through about the second half of Mega Man 3 just the other night, and that kind of got me in the mood for playing Mega Man 3, and that's kind of what sparked this Let's Play. So Wayne, thank you for streaming this game, because I probably wouldn't be doing this Let's Play right now if it wasn't for your stream. And so yeah, we're going to play through Mega Man 3, and we're going to have fun. So before I jump into it, as usual, I want to thank my current Patreon backers. No new backers this past week, but for those continuing to support the channel through that, I really appreciate it. Also gonna flash by the recent Super Chat donors from my live streams. Thank you guys as well. I'm glad you guys enjoy the content enough to want to give me money. It's kind of weird to me, but I hope you guys, find some value in this content and you continue to appreciate it. For those that can't support me monetarily, I just really appreciate your viewership regardless, and I hope you guys enjoy the content as well. So what we're gonna do here is something a little bit different. We're gonna actually try to fight some of the harder bosses without power-ups. Although Gemini Man, I'll probably have to cave in to him and use Snake Man's weapon against him. And Hard Man, I'm not as familiar with his pattern as I used to be when I was a kid, so what I'll probably have to do is use Magnet Man's weapon against him. But all the other bosses I should be able to take out with just your standard Mega Buster, and so we'll just kind of see how that goes. So we're going to jump in, we're going to do Shadow Man first. He's kind of a pain. He was always one of the bosses I would save till last back in the day, and then I would just use Top Man's power up against him. But we're not going to do that. We're going to try to take him head on with just your standard Mega Buster shot. So, and we'll see how that goes. So, Mega Man 3 is a pretty fantastic Mega Man game. I will be honest though, I don't enjoy it quite as much as I used to as a kid. Now that I'm an adult and I've played hundreds if not thousands of video games, I see a lot of its flaws later on in the game in particular. Lots of flicker, lots of slowdown, things like that. Stuff that is honestly relatively common on the NES, but it's really bad in this game at parts, especially later on in the game. But also the last portion of the game just feels rushed to me in this day and age, which is kind of a shame. So is it my favorite Mega Man game these days? Not really. Mega Man 2 is still kind of like my go-to on the NES, but man, this is still a fantastic game regardless, even with its faults. And if you haven't really played these old Mega Man games, or you've only played 1 or 2, and you haven't played this, you really have to play it. It's still a great game, even with its flaws, or its perceived flaws, in my eyes, and definitely worth checking out. It's a classic. So this part right here, what I like to do is actually just sort of like bait these guys in, like so. Otherwise you'll jump and you'll potentially get hit as they fall down. And, in these games, ideally you want to take as minimal amount of damage as possible to raise your chances of getting through the levels. And something you can also do in Mega Man 3, and this was actually introduced in Mega Man 3, was pressing down and jump, and that'll allow you to slide, and that'll actually really help you get past or get under certain enemies, jumping enemies or things like that. And it allows you to get away from the bosses much faster as well. So Shadow Man is just a major pain. So that's why when I was a kid, a lot of times I would do Top Man first, and that's the weakness for Shadow Man. And so basically I would do Top Man, then come to Shadow Man and just wreck him with Top Man's ability. Oops. Got him. First try. That's a really tough fight. So basically what he does is he's just constantly jumping at varying heights. Sometimes he stops and throws his saw blades at you. Other times, you know, he slides. And when he slides, you have to jump over him. If he does his saw blades, if you're far enough back, you can jump over them, but you can also slide under them. And it's just extremely unpredictable. I don't think there's any rhythm and rhyme to it. I could be wrong, and if there is, and you're knowledgeable about this game, post a comment down below and let me know what the deal is with that. But that's always a troublesome fight for me. Needle Man is also really tough, but it's not as bad because I feel like I have a little more control over the fight. So it'll be interesting getting the Needle Man and seeing what happens there. So yeah, just so you guys know, for those of you guys that aren't very familiar with Mega Man, you know, you can basically take the Robot Master's weapon that you just fought, and with Shadow Man, you can use his weapon and fire it diagonally, which is really nice. Unfortunately, unlike Metal Man and Mega Man 2, with Shadow Man you can only shoot left, right, and upwards. So you can't jump and shoot downwards, which is kind of a shame, but it's still a pretty useful weapon. And I think the reason they did this is that Metal Man's weapon in Mega Man 2 was kind of broken. It was like, once you got Metal Man's weapon, I mean, realistically, you could just go through the entire game with that weapon. It was extremely, extremely good. I'm not complaining about it, honestly. I love Metal Man's weapon. It's so much fun to play through that game with it. And so with Shadow Man's weapon, you kind of have a similar ability, but you have to be a little bit better with your attack, and you can't shoot it out nearly as quickly as you can Metal Man's weapon. And what we're going to do is actually use our Rush Coil. So Rush was also something that was brand new to the Mega Man series, starting with Part 3. So Part 3 introduced the slide right here, but it also introduced Rush Coil. And you actually get Rush Coil by default when you start, which is nice. So these guys, what you want to do is slide under them as they throw these balls. It's actually kind of interesting playing with some of these weapons, because I don't normally play with the Robot Master weapons when I play these old Mega Man games. What I'll do is I'll usually just play with my standard shot over and over. But playing with Shadow Man here is pretty cool, so what we'll have to do is we'll have to try to tackle some of the other stages with just the Robot Master weapons, which again is something I don't normally do. Alright, so we're going to switch back to our Mega Buster here, like I said. And sometimes Needle Man will just fly over. We'll see what happens. Nope. One of the tough things about Needle Man is that when you attack him, you only take away 1 hit point from him, which is tricky. In Mega Man 2, many boss fights, I think most boss fights actually in Mega Man 2, you would take 2 hit points away, so, you know, it only took half the amount of hits as it did, say, to kill Needle Man. But Needle Man's a tough fight. You can see he just bounces all the way across the screen. When he does that, you want to dash under him. When he's just sitting there, jumping vertically and shooting his needles out, what you want to do is just try to, you know, just watch the needles and try to jump over them when you see, like, a noticeable gap. So what we're going to do is, like I said, not sure how I want to do this. So Gemini Man, I don't want to take on unless I've got Snake Man. So let's just do Spark Man, and then we'll probably move over to Top Man or Magnet Man. What we're going to do is we're going to save Hard Man and Gemini Man for last. Gemini Man is just extremely difficult without using Snake Man's ability. And Hard Man really isn't that challenging when you know his pattern. I just don't know his pattern anymore, so I want to have Magnet Man's weapon when I get to Hard Man, just sort of as a buffer, if you will. You know, if I can't fight him appropriately with my Mega Buster, I'll just switch over to Magnet Man's weapon. So we got Needle Man. I don't know if this actually does any damage. Oh, it does. Okay, it works against these guys. It's not very powerful. It's probably about the same strength as my standard Mega Buster shot, but the cool thing about Needle Man is that it's an auto fire. I'm just holding on the button right here. And it's actually got a lot of ammunition, which is very, very nice. Alright, so we're gonna wait for this guy to fire. Now, it's actually kind of appropriate we're playing this game because just a couple weeks ago, I did a Let's Play for Mega Man 3 on Game Boy, and we're gonna actually switch over to Rush Coil here and grab this stuff. Normally I just skip this stuff, but, you know, since I'm using Needle Man's weapon, I might as well refill and get my health back too. But yeah, I did a Let's Play of Mega Man 3 for Game Boy, so it's actually really fun to play that and then go back and play this, because honestly I wasn't a huge fan of Mega Man 3 on Game Boy. I really was not. It was a really frustrating experience trying to learn that game well enough to where I could Let's Play it for you guys, and I didn't have a whole lot of fun playing it. I thought it was kind of a poorly designed game. Got a couple comments on that video sort of explaining why it ended up the way it was. It sounded like it was the kind of game that was actually farmed out to an external developer that really had nothing to do with Capcom games. Capcom basically contracted out the development of Mega Man 3 on Game Boy. And thus it ended up the way it did, which is kind of a shame. Great looking game, great sounding game on Game Boy, but man, that level design is pretty horrendous. That's actually a tough part right there. You gotta do some baby jumps if you want to get through that without too much of an issue. Alright, so back to the Mega Buster. We've got 2 lives left, 1 energy tank. I'll probably save my E-tank until I'm on my last life, just so we don't have to go through one of these levels all over again. So something to keep in mind when you're playing this game is bosses have invincibility frames after you attack them, and here's that flicker I was talking about. It starts to get really bad at some of these bosses. And that slowdown too. But yeah, so bosses have invincibility frames. There's no point in constantly mashing the fire button on the bosses, because half your shots aren't going to actually do anything to them. See, kind of like this, I'm just mashing really quickly. It doesn't really do a whole lot of good. So what I like to do is actually just sort of time my attacks to where I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that, and every single hit is taking away a piece of life. I'm not sitting there trying to mash. I'm trying to stay alive. I'm trying to dodge and things like that. And when you're just constantly mashing, it kind of takes away your attention from the dodging aspect many times. You know, your thumb's trying to mash on the button really quickly, and you know, that could affect your platforming, could affect your focus. Alright, so we're gonna go just straight to Top Man. A lot of times when I play Mega Man 3, I'll just do Top Man first. It's just a habit for me, actually. It's not really a necessity, but when I was a kid, it's what I would always do, and it's one thing that's kind of stuck with me. Alright. Yeah, so what I was going to do, actually, is use some of these Robot Master weapons. We got Spark Man. Let's try to play this stage with just Spark... Oh, whoa! I didn't realize it did that. It's literally just freezing them. I had no idea it was... Oh, I can't go through them. Huh. Yeah, so I mean, even back in the day, I would always just play with the standard Mega Buster, but, you know, I had no idea Spark Man's weapon did that. It stunned the enemies. That's really interesting. Not as useful as I had hoped. I mean, if you're having problems with a certain enemy, then, you know, I can totally see that being useful. Let's see if it stuns these guys too. Yep, it sure does. Wow, so I can't actually... When you stun them, you can't switch over to a different weapon. That's actually kind of useless. So, like, you can't attack them, basically, with Sparkman's weapon. It's just weird to me that it does that, because if you use Sparkman's weapon against certain bosses, it does massive damage. It doesn't stun them. But you use it on regular enemies, and it just stuns regular enemies. So that's kind of a shame. I actually wanted to go through the whole level with just Sparkman's weapon. Well, we'll do Shadow Man's weapon then. So something else I haven't really explained is that, you know, you do have Rush Coil, but as you defeat certain bosses, you also get variations on Rush. So now we've got Rush Jet, which allows us to fly around. And we've also got Rush Marine, which unfortunately doesn't really do a whole lot right now. I don't think it's going to actually come out. Yeah. You need to use it when you're underwater, basically. But pretty cool abilities. Rush Jet is really, really awesome in this game because you can just fly wherever you want. In later Mega Man games, Rush Jet mimicked more of like the number 2 ability in Mega Man 2, which was basically just like a platform that forced you to go ahead in a single direction. Like Mega Man 4 was that way, I believe. But you did have a little control on it in Mega Man 4, I believe, where you can sort of like veer it up and down as it went to the right. But, you know, like in Mega Man... Oops, switch over to Rush Marine, sorry. In Mega Man 3, you can just hop on it and use it as a floating platform. It's a really, really good ability in this game. Alright, switch back over to Shadow Man. Shadow Man's weapon, it's slow, but it is pretty powerful, which is nice. Let's see what it's like fighting the cat. Oh! I thought I could hit his back with the Shadow Man ability, but nope. It just went right through him. We're learning a lot of different things about this game today, guys. You know, again, like I said, when I typically play Mega Man, any of these classic Mega Mans, I just use the Mecha Buster attack. I don't play through the levels with the Robot Master weapons, but you can see how playing with the Robot Master weapons can make things interesting. You know, you have a little more flexibility in a lot of cases. Like right here, I can use Shadow Man's ability and shoot this guy from below. Just like so. Now, I don't think there are going to be any other enemies, so we're just going to switch right back over. Still got 2 lives. I love the music in this game too. It's got a fantastic soundtrack. It's got one of the best soundtracks for a Mega Man game on the NES. And my favorite soundtracks, Mega Man soundtracks, are probably a toss-up between 2 and 3. They both have excellent, excellent soundtracks. I still feel like my my controls are a little unresponsive now. Like when I turn and try to fire, it's not really responding, and I don't know if that's a Mega Man 3 thing or if it's the fact that I'm playing on an AVS system. I actually had my AVS going through my upscaler, and I was noticing some lag, so I took the AVS out from that, and I just plugged it straight into my HDMI switch box, which goes into my capture card. And I'm still noticing like some unresponsiveness. I highly doubt it's my controller, because I bought this controller. I bought a new old stock OEM controller about 2 years ago, so it's still very, very snappy, very, very responsive. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Alright, so we'll do Magnet Man. And so we basically just got Top Man's ability, which unfortunately, we're not going through this level with Top Man's ability. Sorry guys, I know you probably want to see it. It's not worth the trouble. So we'll switch over to Needle Man. You will see Top Man's ability in action later on, when we go back and fight Shadow Man a second time, right before the end of the game. But we can use Needle Man's ability here, which is nice. Nice auto fire. That's Proto Man. You have to fight him a bunch of times throughout the course of this game. And he's not a very hard fight. He just jumps up and down, moving to the left and right. And you could just slide under him and just shoot him from behind. That's the easiest way to deal with him. And if you just follow his jump arc, you can actually just constantly attack him. And you can make the Proto Man fights go by really, really fast in this game if you're pretty good with it. Alright, so we're gonna actually hold up and let go of the ladder, and okay, that's just health. Alright, so what we can actually do here is skip this section entirely. Oops, kinda like so. Get back here, Rush Jet. We're just gonna keep holding right, So for those of you guys new to the game, if you're having problems with these disappearing blocks, just bring out RushJet and just skip the section completely. That's one of the great things about the Mega Man series, is they give you the tools to get past certain sections with ease if you're having trouble. Alright, back to Shadow Man's ability. Let's actually come down here. Normally I don't come down here, so we're gonna refill RushJet unnecessarily, but we're gonna do it anyway. I feel like I'm playing a shoot 'em up now. Alright. Let's do it again. Mega Man the Shmup. You know, I'm surprised they never made a Mega Man shooting game, like a shoot 'em up. I mean, they've made a Mega Man in pretty much every other genre. Why not a shoot 'em up, you know? Have like a massive RushJet, or Rush spaceship or something, I don't know. I'm a little bit in a shoot-em-up mood right now, actually. I've been playing a lot of shmups on Twitch. I've been buying a lot of PS1 shmups in particular. Dropping a lot of money on those. They're not cheap these days, unfortunately. And, so yeah, I definitely have shmups on my mind. It's always been one of my favorite genres, but it's also one of those genres I kind of go in and out of phases with, where I'll go through phases where it's the primary genre I'm playing, and then I'll go years without playing a lot of them. I'll play more platformers or general action games or something like that. Alright, so Magnet Man is down. He's a pretty easy boss fight. When he jumps across the screen, just simply slide under him. That's all you have to do, just slide under him. And, you know, when he jumps up and does his magnet attack, just constantly move left or right, whichever way you have more room to move. And you'll just avoid the magnets completely. So, let's go ahead and use Magnet Man's weapon here. This will probably actually be somewhat useful. The issue with Magnet Man's weapon, though, is that it just uses up a lot of ammo. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to just take this through the whole stage like we were, say, Shadow Man's weapon. You can already see, like, you know, we've gotten some refills. If I didn't have those refills, I'd be almost out of ammo right now. But you can see how it homes up, just like the attack does on the boss fight. Let's actually see how this works here. Oh, it doesn't work? It's powerful, but it doesn't work. That's interesting. I didn't home in on that guy. Alright, so let's smack into this guy. Or die. We can do that too. I mean, I'm okay with that. You guys okay with that? Good. Alright, switch over to Top Man's ability. This will be fun. Oh, it actually worked. Whoa, that really doesn't work. So it looks like Top Man's ability is very finicky. Works against some enemies, doesn't work against others. Like, it worked really well against those hopping guys. Like, we'll switch back. Bam, just like that. Works really well against those guys, actually. I'm surprised. We'll do Shadow Man's ability, because we can go diagonally here. And I'm actually really curious about Shadow Man's ability on this part. Can you get close? Yep, you can just get close and do vertical. Yeah, it's actually kind of fun going through this game and intentionally trying to use the Robot Master weapons. Again, it's not normally what I do, and if you guys want to see a more traditional run that I often do, you can check out my old Let's Play of the game. Or one of the live streams. Ooh, works really well against those guys. Look at that. Alright, Top Man, your ability's not half bad, actually. As long as, you know, on enemies it actually works on. I wonder if it's gonna work on these guys. Probably not. Maybe their projectile? Ooh, look at that! Smacking in their projectile. Yeah, it doesn't really work against, it looks like it doesn't work against, like, full-size enemies. But when you, just use it against, like, small enemies or projectiles, it seems to work pretty well. And we're gonna have to actually switch back. Yeah, I forgot about that. But what I'm gonna do is Use Rush Coil. And that's just some health. Nothing crazy. And flexibility. Take this guy out from the bottom. See? Just like that. And I'm going to try this again, actually. That, get right underneath the snake's head and just shoot vertically and see what happens. Just tank a little bit. Yep. Not the ideal way to do it, but it is a way to do it. So back to Top Man. It's okay if I take some damage here, because Snake Man is not really a hard boss fight. This part can be tricky though. Very, very tight jump. Probably the tightest jump in the game, honestly. So if you got Rush Coil, just use it. If you're not comfortable with that jump. Again, that's one of the beautiful things about the Mega Man series. They give you the tools, at least on the NES anyway. Don't get me started on Mega Man 3 on Game Boy. They give you the tools to deal with, you know, these situations, basically. Like, when you start this game, you get Rush Coil immediately. You have it when you start the game. Mega Man 3 on Game Boy, you have to earn Rush Coil, so you don't have that crutch in that game, which is an absolutely horrible design choice that made the game more frustrating than I think it needed to be. Rush Coil was included out of the box in Mega Man 3 for NES. It should have been included out of the box in the Game Boy one as well, but it wasn't, unfortunately. Yeah, so these guys, these clouded, sort of like missiles, they'll just like bob up and down a little bit, and then when you shoot them, they'll just go straight forward, like so. Alright, so we're going to switch back over to our standard shot. So Snake Man has a pretty simple pattern. One of the great things about Mega Man 3 and the NES is, you know, despite the boss arena heights, or boss arenas being, you know, structured differently, not completely flat all the time, the characters are relatively small, the jump arcs are long with these bosses, so you have a lot of room to maneuver around them. Unfortunately, those Mega Mans on the Game Boys, you don't have that luxury. So Mega Man 3 in particular, I would not have such an easy time with Snake Man as I do here in the NES version, so. Alright, so on to... we're gonna do Hard Man first. We'll do Hard Man first. And we'll save Gemini Man for last. Hard Man stage, you'll actually get a couple of extra energy tanks and so forth. At least one energy tank, maybe two. So we're gonna switch over to... I don't think Snake Man is gonna really work with these guys, but we'll try it. Yeah, I didn't think so. So we'll do... some Shadow Man again. And we'll go ahead and grab that health. So these guys right here, as you walk past them, they come up and try to snap at you. So it's good to just try to slide past those things. I think I could probably get this guy from down here, yeah. There we go. Just use some Rush Jet, or Rush Coil, doesn't really matter. And what I'm going to do is actually try something new here, is use Rush Jet for these guys. Look at that. So when you try to cross these guys, normally they will just start jumping at you like crazy. And watch you do the same thing for this guy. Look at that. Flexibility. I like trying these new strategies. These are strategies I would never do back in the day. And that's gone. So let's switch back over to Shadow Man. And we're gonna come up here because there's an E-tank. And there's just some health up top, nothing, no big deal. Got lucky there. And another Proto Man fight. And that works too. So Shadow Man's attack is pretty slow, but it's really powerful. It's like surprisingly powerful. More powerful than I realized, actually. So it's a good attack. If you need your Metal Man fix for Mega Man 2, oh, this is about as close as you're gonna get. Alright, so let's see how we do here. You know, we got 2 E-tanks, 2 lives. We're still pretty good. Doing pretty well there. Oops. So you can sort of bait where his little punch attacks are going to. Dead. Awesome. First try. So like I said, I'm still not that familiar with this pattern. I don't have it down like I used to. Like I had a very specific rhythm and rhyme to his pattern when I was a kid, but, you know, I don't remember it. So... But it looks like the attacks will actually just shoot out to wherever you are in screen, so if you just stay on the ground, they'll both shoot straight ahead. So I jump over the first one, jump high enough to where I bait the second one up, and then I fall and dodge the second one, and then you kind of saw how it went. So, what if we get the Gemini Man without dying? We'll try him first without Snake Man, just kind of see how it goes. But I always get wrecked by Gemini Man when I try to do that. So, all right. So what do we have? We got Hard Man. Hard Man is a really slow weapon, but it's pretty powerful. We're gonna run out of ammo here in just a minute. Yeah, some of these weapons just aren't very good for normal gameplay, because they use up a ton of ammo. They're slow. Yeah, we're out of ammo now, so we're gonna have to switch back over to let's do Magnet Man. Magnet Man's another example of something that uses up a ton of ammo. Alright, so we're gonna just fall down here. Hold to the left, see what happens, and we missed it. It's okay. But we can just use Rush Jet and get up here for an extra life. I'm gonna exit off that. Go back to our regular shot for this part. I'm gonna actually switch over to Hard Man. Get some refills. Yeah, it doesn't do anything, unfortunately. Hard Man again. And back to Needle Man. Sometimes you can actually, if you time it right, there we go, just like that. Tricky, but it works. Alright, see if we can do Hard Man on this guy. Yeah, 3 hits, not too bad. Alright, so we're gonna switch back over to Rush Coil, get this health. And then we're gonna switch back over to... I don't know. Mess around with Hardman again. And this is where Rush Marine actually comes in handy. We'll go ahead and use that too, just to show you what it's like. So much like Rush Jet or Rush Coil, there is limited ammunition, unfortunately. So you want to try to rush through this part, no pun intended, as quickly as possible, if you can. And jump up here. We're gonna switch back over, actually. Lots of E-tanks, they're just really tossing them at us now. And that's one of the things about Mega Man 3 is that it does have a tendency of just throwing lots of good things your way, more so than other Mega Man games do. Alright, so I think, yeah, right before the boss fight, we'll just fight this guy normally. And we'll just see how we do here. We got plenty of life, so I can die and then try it again and see what happens. So basically what happens, when you fire, so does Gemini Man. I think I've got it, actually. Let's see if we can do it again. And then once you get his life halfway down, his clone disappears, and then he just starts shooting lasers at you, which are really, really powerful. There we go. Looks like every time you fire, he jumps. You can control that. Nice. I don't think I've ever actually beaten Gemini Man without Snake Man's ability. So, it's a tough fight, but it looks like you can get him into a rhythm on the first half. And then the second half, since he jumps every time you fire, you can just bait him into jumping. So, yeah, tough fight, but that's cool. I'm gonna have to go back and try to do that again. Alright, so this is where the game starts to get kind of tricky. It's also where the game kind of starts to get a little bloated. We basically have to go through 4 of the stages once again, and then fight Mega Man 2 Robot Masters, and they are extremely powerful and very, very difficult. They take up a huge part of the screen, and it's very difficult to avoid these guys. It's probably my least favorite part in the game. It actually used to be my favorite part of the game, but as I've gotten older and kind of realized how sort of poorly designed they are and implemented, I'm not as big of a fan as I used to be. It's still a novel concept, I will say that. I mean, there's no denying that, really. But these Mega Man 2 Robot Masters are such a pain in this game. And I'm just gonna keep using my regular Mega Buster now. I'm not gonna bother with, you know, the special weapons until I get to the bosses, because I definitely want to save them for these guys. Unfortunately, I don't remember their weaknesses in this, so we're just gonna hope for the best. Dude, these platforms were such a pain in the Game Boy and Mega Man 3. They're not too bad in this one, honestly. Just gotta time it right. The timing's pretty lenient in this one, whereas in Mega Man 3 Game Boy, you've gotta have, like, frame-perfect timing. It's absolutely awful. Alright, so this is gonna be Woodman. I don't remember what works against him. I don't remember what works against most of these guys, so we're gonna just figure it out on the fly, guys. Again, I watched my buddy Wayne play through this, and he actually, when I tuned in, he was playing at about this part, so... And I don't remember... Oh, okay, so Needle Man does work, okay. I thought he used Needle Man against him, but I wasn't sure. Look at how much damage he does. Hits like a freight train. Alright, we're gonna switch back over. Now you gotta be careful with this part, because these guys will spawn back in. So just kind of like this. Let's see. There he is. So if you go too far off screen, he'll come back. Alright, so for this part right here, same concept as before. Just try to bait these guys into coming down. But you gotta watch out for these hopping dudes, too. And just take these guys out from a distance. Oh, that was close. Good, this hopping dude's just chasing me. Alright, so the unfortunate part is the checkpoints are pretty far back on this, from this point on. So what we're gonna do is, trying to debate if I want to actually just use a, an E-tank. Lucky I didn't die there. That was surprising. I think the checkpoints are farther back. I think you gotta do that whole section over. I'm just gonna die. Yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice a life, because we'll get more extra lives, I'm sure. Oh no, it puts me right there. Awesome. Good. I'm glad I was wrong. It's one of those few times I'm glad I'm wrong. Alright, let's see what works against him. Not Magnet Man. Probably not Hard Man. Probably not Gemini Man, because Gemini Man I know works against someone else. Oops. Hard Man does a little bit of damage, not enough. Oops. Shadow Man. Go figure. We're in Shadow Man's stage, and Shadow Man is what hurts him. There we go. Got him. Alright, 1 down, 3 to go. We'll go back to Needle Man. We'll try to play them in the order that we play the regular stages, just to mix things up. So, Needle Man stage is kind of a pain, because it has a section that forces you to use Rush Jet, and if you die afterwards, you don't get your ammunition back on Rush Jet, and so it's really hard. I should say, it's really easy to sort of put yourself in jail, so to speak, and have to get an intentional game over just to get your power back. So what I can do here is sort of to save my Rush Jet, jump up here with Rush Coil, use Rush Jet to get over here, switch over, and then just fall down to this extra life. So when you've got Rush Coil out, you can actually fire. You have to wait till Rush comes out, but then you can just fire as normal, basically. Alright, good deal. Alright, this is gonna be Airman, I believe, and I do not remember what works against him. It might be Sparkman. I guess we'll try it. Yep, sure enough. Got him. First try. I like that. Alright, so this is the part I was talking about. And... Alright, so switch over to Rush Jet. And we're gonna grab this ammunition. And if we just keep holding right, Rush Jet will keep moving, even though we've jumped off of him. And we're gonna actually switch over, and switch back, grab this ammo. In this case, you'd probably call it fuel, right? Probably. And for this part, we're gonna grab that, but switch back to Rush Coil. Not that it really matters at this point. So what we're gonna end up doing is just using, we're gonna just end up using some E-tanks, so we don't have to go back and do that whole section over. Wow, got him right as he came up. So you hit that guy in the plus sign, that's how you do damage to him. And these guys you can only attack when they're open. First try again, very nice. Jump over this guy and just skip him. He's not worth our time. And what works against Crash Man? I don't know. Not Magnet Man, probably not Needle Man. Needle Man's okay. He does 2 hit points. I can deal with that. He's got very much the same pattern as he does in Mega Man 2, where when you fire, he jumps. So, kind of like Gemini Man, you can bait him in to jumping. And we got it. So that wasn't his real weakness. I mean, Needle Man was taking away 2 hit points, but usually the real weakness, the weapon that works against their weakness, does a lot more damage. Alright, so over to Spark Man. And then once we get past these 2 stages, we have to go to Break Man, aka Proto Man. And then we go to Wily's Castle. Wily's Castle is not very long in this game, so we'll probably fly right through that. But then we'll have to fight all the Robot Masters again. Man, this sounds longer than I remember. But that's the thing about Mega Man 3 is it's got more content than some of the other Mega Mans do on the NES, and so it takes a little bit longer to go through the game. I'm trying to not think that far ahead, because I'm like, oh man, do we have another half hour to go? This is that point where like I start to get tired in the Let's Play. I was already kind of tired to begin with before going into this video, but you know, can't complain too much about that. Alright, so we're gonna jump over here. Got these sort of Double Dragon 2 thingies. There's some things kind of like that in Double Dragon 2, and they were a major pain in that game. Alright, so we're gonna switch back over to our regular weapon, because I want to save my Robot Master ammo in case I need it at some of these bosses. Again, because I'm really not familiar with the weaknesses on these guys, so... And this is Metal Man. It'd be hilarious if Shadow Man worked against him. I highly doubt it does. You know, we'll try it. Actually, I think it's Magnet Man, to be honest with you. Yeah. I am kind of curious, though. Wow, Shadow Man does work. Not as well, but it does work. Not what I was expecting. So in Mega Man 2, Metal Man's weakness is actually Metal Man. It doesn't make any sense, but it's kind of funny. If you're playing on... it takes 2 hits with the Metal Blade to kill Metal Man when you have to fight him a second time in Mega Man 2. Now, if you're playing on the easier difficulty in Mega Man 2, you'll actually kill him in 1 hit with Metal Man's ability. It's pretty funny. So it's kind of like... It's kind of fitting that Shadow Man does some damage against him, because it's basically the Metal Man attack of Mega Man 3. Alright, These things are always a pain. Let's see if we can skip through them. I don't know what's gonna work here. Is this Quick Man? If it's Quick Man, then the Gemini Man. Yeah, Gemini Man is what works here. Alright, we're good. Gonna go ahead and use an E-Tank here, because we got plenty. Awesome. First try! A lot of times I get wrecked by these guys, and there is no way in hell I'm going through these guys with just the Mega Buster. Not happening. They're really tough boss fights. You have very little room to move around. Their sprites are so large you can't just jump over them. And in the case of like Woodman, it feels like it's almost impossible just to jump over his regular attack as is. I mean, as long as you use, like, the correct Robot Master weapons against them, I guess they're not too bad. But, they can still be a pain. Extra life, cool. Alright, so we're going to use Rush Coil to get back up. I just kind of want to see what this thing is up here. These question mark containers, they're just that. You don't know what they are. It's kind of random. But E-Tank, which is good. Makes me feel a little bit better. Another extra life up there, so I guess we'll go ahead and try to get that. Oh, never mind. It disappears. I think in Mega Man 3 on Game Boy, they actually don't disappear. Well, I guess it's one of the few good changes in that game. Alright, and what we're gonna do is kill these guys, jump up here like that. Oh, look at that extra life. I definitely can't get that. It's stuck in the wall. Alright, first boss. Who's it gonna be? Probably Flashman, I'm guessing. Oh, just reflects off of him. Okay, so Top Man doesn't work. Gemini Man's probably... Wow, Gemini Man works here too. Okay. I'm alright with that. As long as I can get my firepower back. Really, I've always liked Mega Man 2 and 3 in particular for, like, the variety of, you know, visual effects and things like that. So on Flashman stage in Mega Man 2 and Gemini Man stage on this, you've got color-changing backgrounds, which is really awesome. And it's something that the later Mega Mans on the NES were lacking. I mean, Mega Man 4 is an exception. It's got some great background effects, too. But Mega Man 5 and 6 in particular had very flat backgrounds with not a whole lot going on in terms of, you know, shifting effects and animations and things like that. But you can kind of see, like, the water effect, you know, the color-changing tiles and stuff like that. Even the sort of plant-like stuff, I guess, on the top is shimmering, which is really cool. So it really makes for some attractive-looking backgrounds. And so when people hear me complain about some of the later Mega Mans, these are some of the things I'm thinking of when I'm complaining about those games. As much as I do enjoy like Mega Man 5 and 6 in particular, just for this example, but when I say I don't enjoy them as much as the originals, though, it's things like this I'm thinking of outside of just the gameplay itself and the music. The earlier Mega Man games, I shouldn't say the earlier, because the first Mega Man game is just kind of like in a league of its own, but Mega Man's 2 and 3 in particular, really fantastic looking NES games, and they're still pleasing to look at today. And Hard Man doesn't work. Let's see if Top Man works. Nope, Top Man doesn't work. I just wasted all my ammo. Gemini Man again? Nope, not this time. Not Magnet Man, for sure. How about Needle Man? Needle Man seems... You know, it's kind of funny. Needle Man almost seems like it's the actual Metal Man weapon of Mega Man 3. I'm gonna go ahead and use that E-Tank, because I don't want to deal with the checkpoint. Because it seems to do decent damage on almost anything. Almost any boss. And it uses up very little ammunition. Unlike, say, Hard Man or Magnet Man or something like that. Alright, let's see if we can experiment here. Oh, man, Hard Man, you're useless. Holy crap. Same with Gemini Man. It's off screen somewhere, but it's not letting me switch. Magnet Man's useless. Wow, even Needle Man. Does nothing work here? I think nothing works. I have to use my Mega Buster. Interesting. Yeah, I never knew that, because I never bothered to use these weapons, so I had no reason to, really. I've never beaten him like that with Rush Jet. Alright, so now we go to Wily's castle. An hour in, we're at Wily's castle. And it's still not bad timing, actually. I mean, we went through all 8 Robot Masters, and we went through 4 more levels with 8 more bosses. And we were experimenting, so, you know, time-wise, it actually wasn't that bad. But Wily's castle should go pretty quickly. And, we'll continue with the old experimenting with, firepower. So in Wily's castle, they just really start, you know, dropping things for you. It's like, here's an extra life, here's an energy tank. Pretty much just, like, right in front of you. It's like, here! Have it. You don't, you know, no effort required. Just like this. I was kind of thinking about it the other night, though, when I was watching my friend Wayne stream this, and, you know, for someone like me who plays these games, you know, like, religiously, plays video games religiously these days, and has a lot of experience with a lot of these old games in particular, I kind of see things differently than I think, like, a new player would that's not that familiar with this franchise, that might actually have lots of trouble on the previous sections. They might need these power-ups. Whereas for someone like me, I don't need them. I've got 6 lives and 6 E-Tanks, and we've used some already, so... So, I try not to give Mega Man 3 too much crap for being too easy towards the end of the game, because, you know, it's too easy for me, it's not gonna be too easy for everyone else. You know. And it's still fun. It's still a fun game, regardless of, you know, how many energy tanks they toss your way. And if you're a higher level player, you don't have to use the energy tanks. If you want to, you know, make the game harder, self-impose some challenges, you know? Try to fight these bosses without using power-ups, things like that. That's what's fun about some of these, you know, old school games, is you've got that flexibility. You've got that choice, basically. You're not forced to play a game a very specific way. I can use Rush Jet to get up here. I don't have to. I can use Rush Coil. You know? And that is one of the, I think, the shining, I should say, de facto quality traits of the Mega Man series, is they offer, at least the really good Mega Man games, they offer lots of flexibility. In some Mega Mans, I would say that flexibility is just kind of skewed in one direction. You know, like some of the later Mega Mans, they're very heavily based around using the Mega Buster. And if you don't use the Mega Buster, it's going to take forever to kill the boss fights. And I mean the charged Mega Buster, specifically. Not just your standard, regular pea shooter shot. But these earlier ones in particular, you know, 1, 2, and 3 give you a lot of flexibility. 2 and 3 in particular, I'd say, are the most flexible Mega Mans in terms of how you can attack the game. So we're going to go ahead and just go up this way because there is an extra life. Oops! Oh. But it's okay, we can get some ammo back. Oops. Again, fantastic music in this game. Great soundtrack. Alright, so this can actually be a pretty tricky section here. We'll just mess around with Shadow Man's ability and kind of see what happens. Kind of like we did on Hard Man's stage earlier. Same concept. This guy might actually spawn back. Nope, he's not. Good. There's another one. Looks like you can actually intentionally despawn some of these guys. If you push it off screen right as it's dropping, less bees will come out. That's really good to know, actually. So here again, they're just tossing power-ups at you left and right. We just got 2 E-Tanks for free. We had to do absolutely nothing for it. And look at this. Probably not the ideal way to do this, but if you're having problems here you go. You can do this once anyway. Alright, how do I want to do this? I think Shadow Man actually works against him. Yep. Normally I use Hard Man on him, it's the safer way to go. But, again, kind of in that experimental mood. So what we'll end up doing is just using an E-Tank. We have so many, we might as well. So if anybody else out there is watching, let me know what else works in this guy. Is it just Hard Man and Shadow Man, or do other weapons work as well? And how much damage do they do? Shadow Man, like, if you want to take the risk, though, man, you can defeat that guy way faster with Shadow Man. That was just a couple of cycles. Normally it takes me longer with Hard Man's ability. That's cool, though. Again, like I said, I don't usually experiment when I play this game. That's what's kind of fun about revisiting this game in the Let's Play form. Another energy tank. No work required. Let's jump over these guys. And there's really no threat here, if I recall correctly. What I should... actually... No, never mind. No, actually... I don't know what I want to do. What I do want to do is try to get my Rush Jet ability back up, actually. Because there is something I want to try that I saw Wayne do when I was watching him stream this. Definitely don't need to deal with that guy. I don't remember if it's this boss or... No, I know what boss this is. This is the boss that requires, Snake Man. Alright, let's jump up here. Alright, good. We're gonna use this on Rush Jet. And we got another extra life. Something I actually kind of want to try here is just using my regular shot. But I have to be careful not to die because... Yeah, I can just use my regular shot here. It's interesting. There we go. Yeah, so what I usually do is just use Snake Man. You kill that guy in like 5 or 6 hits with Snake Man. It's really damaging against him. Or against it. It's not really a he, is it, if it's not a human. Alright, switch back over to Rush Jet. Refill that, and we will refill Shadow Man. Another energy tank. Free of charge. Mega Man 3 is being really nice to me right now. Lots of goodies. Lots of goodies I actually probably won't need. It's actually kind of cool to see sort of like a throwback to Guts Man in this game. He picks up blocks and throws them at you. Ah, so we're back here. Okay. This is where we fight all of our Robot Masters again. And I'm gonna come down here because... remember that happening. And I always forget what works against Snake Man, Needle Man, apparently. Again, I don't usually use the Robot Master weapons against these bosses, except for certain situations, so... like Snake Man, I don't think I've ever fought with a Robot Master weapon. Not in recent times, anyways, so... Alright, so Shadow Man. And we're gonna use Top Man's ability here. Just like so. And we're gonna use Hard Man here. Hard Man does a ton of damage against Top Man. I'm gonna say Hard Man probably doesn't work. Hard Man works against Hard Man. I never would have guessed. Well, actually, technically I did guess, but you know what I mean. Wow. Okay. We're learning a lot of new things about Mega Man 3 today, guys. Does Gemini Man work against Gemini Man? It does! Holy crap! What is this game trying to do? This is blowing my mind. This is blowing my mind. Why didn't I know this as a kid? I have to try it. Yep! Magnet against magnet. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Wow. It almost seems like every boss weapon works really well against that same boss. I'm gonna guess Needle Man doesn't work well against Needle Man, though. And it does. Holy crap. Why? You guys... they took the Metal Man, like, joke and ran with it on every boss, it seems. Now I want to go back and play all the other bosses with their weapons, like Snake Man and Shadow Man, and see what happens. Alright, I'm going to switch over to Top Man, because we can actually use that later on. That was insane. Alright, yeah, so this is the boss I'm thinking of, and we've got Max Rush Jet already. Yeah, we're gonna use Hardman here, actually, that'll help us. Alright, so what I wanted to try is this right here. You can use Rush Jet. This is what I saw Wayne doing. I was like, ah, I didn't know you could do that. Just like so. And he's gonna drop down, like that. Bam! Not even a single hit. Alright, so now we're on to the final part of the game. At about an hour and 15 minutes, actually. Not too bad. Actually, not too bad at all. I think it's probably faster than... Was that faster than my previous playthrough? I don't know. Alright, sorry, E-Tank. I don't think we need you. I really don't. So we're gonna switch over to... I'm actually kind of curious here. So this guy I would normally use Shadow Man against. Nope, that doesn't work. Doesn't work. Well, obviously Shadow works, I already know that. No, that's not even gonna reach. Doesn't work. That works. And that doesn't work. Alright, well, I tried. So, what we'll do is... Does this work? Wow, not even my main shot works. Okay. Well, I guess I have to use Shadow Man. But hey, look at this! I'm already up here. Haha! How do you guys like that? Oh, I missed it! Oh, I still got him a little bit. You know what's funny is, like, a lot of times you can just jump on this, his hand, but why not just come up here like this? It still works. And, we're gonna actually use Snake Man for the final hit. Just like that. Top Man is definitely easier. It does a lot more damage. But, Snake Man's also an option. And Mega Man totally just moonwalked his way backwards. So that's Mega Man 3, guys. We just beat the game. So, lots of experimentation in this run, and I think that's actually really cool. You know, so you know, both my Let's Plays can sort of coexist. I've got the old Let's Play with lower visual quality and whatnot, but different gameplay style. And this playthrough with much better video quality. And, you know, lots of experimentation, which should be interesting for people to watch. So... so there you have it, guys. That is Mega Man 3 for the NES. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough like I did. It was fun going back through this game, just sort of like putzing around and trying new things, and discovering a lot, actually. We learned a lot about certain, you know, Robot Master weapons, how they work, what they work against, things like that. And probably the thing that amazed me the most is that you can just use the Robot Master weapons against the same Robot Masters at the last part of the game when you're fighting them over again. That was really interesting to me. Gemini Man worked against Gemini Man. Magnet Man works against Magnet Man. Hard Man works against Hard Man. Really interesting stuff. Makes me want to try Top Man's ability on Top Man, and Shadow Man against Shadow Man, and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. So from here on out, it's downhill for the Mega Man series completely. No, I'm just kidding. I actually really like Mega Man 4. It's kind of an often derided Mega Man game, but I really dig it. I really enjoy that one. After that, it was kind of downhill for me personally. Although I still like the whole series on NES, don't get me wrong, but I have to choose favorites. And Mega Man 3 is definitely up there as one of my favorites on the system, alongside Mega Man 2. It's, you know, despite some of the issues that might bug more, you know, advanced players, I still think it's a fantastic game. And totally worth playing, especially if you've never played it before. I mean, if you've never experienced this game, you really should try it out. Either try it out on original hardware, or you can get it on, you know, the various Mega Man Anniversary collections on Xbox, GameCube, and PS2. And then it's also available in the Mega Man Legacy collection for modern consoles. And I do recommend checking it out one way or another. The Legacy pack is pretty cool because it's, you know, you can play through the original games, you can use save states and stuff like that if you're a really terrible player. And it also has extra challenges you can do that are custom to that specific compilation, which is really neat. So I do recommend checking that out if you get a chance. Those do have input lag, unfortunately, so, you know, if you can, I'd recommend playing these on original hardware, either with the original cartridges or using flash carts, kind of like I do. But I highly recommend checking them out. Absolutely worth playing this game. And it's worth checking out all the Mega Mans on NES, honestly. They're classic games. Even the weaker ones are still really good games by, you know, 8-bit standards. And, yeah, fantastic series still. I love going back to these games. And you guys can most certainly expect more Mega Man games. So that's Mega Man's 1 and 3 I've redone Let's Plays on. So you can expect 2, 4, 5, and 6. And then once I get those cranked out, I'll probably try to start focusing on some of the other ones I'm not very good at, like X2 and X3 on Super Nintendo, as well as Mega Man 7 and Mega Man 8. Both games I've actually Mega Man 7 I've completed once. Mega Man 8 I've never finished, believe it or not. So, but those are far ahead in the future, so not on the plate in the current at the current moment, but you guys will most certainly see parts 2, 4, 5, and 6 before I tackle any of those games. So that pretty much does it for me, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Click that G icon on your screen to do so. Anyone interested in supporting this show through Patreon, click that Patreon icon. And for everyone else already watching and already subbed, thank you for your continued support. Hope you guys continue to enjoy these videos. So until the next one, guys, take it easy.